What is up, everybody out there? Artist of Strong Style here to give you another deck profile. All right, vampires are pretty much zombies. So, yes, a vampire deck with a little bit of the zombies to put in the deck to make it a vampire deck. Vampire is a pretty fun deck to do. Again, I like to play for fun, so I wouldn't call this deck really a competitive deck because it's really not. It's just a fun deck to play if you like to play for fun. You can try to make them creative as much as you want, or my mistake, not creative, as competitive as you want. But it's really up to you. For me, I'm going to show you my vampire deck. And yes, it is for fun. It is not competitive. So, further ado, here we go. So you saw right there, Vampire Sorcerer. So you're going to start off with your Vampire Sorcerer. Vampire Sorcerer. You would use 3, but in this deck, I'm only using 2 because I needed some room. So Vampire Sorcerer. If this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card, you can add 1 dark vampire monster or vampire spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard to add 1 dark vampire monster. You normal summon this turn and can be special summoned without tributing. Not bad. So yeah, your Vampire Sorcerer is most likely your main option you want. Then you got the Vampire Familiars. The Vampire Familiars. Okay, maybe a low attack, but it has a special effect. If this card is special summon, you can pay 500 life points and add 1 vampire monster from your deck to your hand, except Vampire Familiar. If this card is sent to your graveyard, then, except Vampire Familiar, if this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 vampire card from your hand or face up on the field, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. It can only be done once per turn. So, if you want to pay 500 life points to get a vampire monster from your deck and add it to your hand, you can do that as well. So most likely you're going to pay life points, but it's worth it to get a vampire. So familiar is to get a vampire monster. Now, what's similar to the vampire retainers is that if this card is special summon, you can pay 500 life points to add a vampire spell trap card to your graveyard, well, from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 vampire card from your hand or face up on the field to special summon this card. It can only be done once per turn. So, familiar, except the Vampire Familiar is to get a monster. Vampire Retainer is to get a spell trap card of a vampire. They have the same effect, paying the life points by 500, but one is to search for a monster, one is to search for a spell trap card of a vampire. Maybe low attacks, but they're just pretty fun. Now I do run one of these because they're just pretty fun to use. So the Grimsum, the Shadow Vampire, the Red Baron, the Scarlet Scourge, the Duke, the Vamp, and the Void. One of each. I just like using them. So, I'll explain each one. The Grimsum. If a vampire monster you control be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can pay 1,000 life points for each monster that would be destroyed. Instead of, you must protect all your monsters that would be destroyed. If you use this effect at the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed a monster by battle, you can special summon them from your graveyards instead. So yeah, bring them all back. The Shadow Vampire. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 dark vampire monster from your hand or deck, except for itself. But if you do that, that monster that you special summon is the only one that can attack for the rest of that turn. This card cannot be used for a material of course, XYZ summon, but we call it XC of a dark monster. Now, the Red Baron, what it does. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points. Then target one monster your opponent controls, and one other vampire monster you control. And if this card was destroyed by any monsters by battle, you can special summon this card from your graveyard to your field. So most likely you get the idea. You're going to pay life points to either bring these right back or not. Up to you. You are going to pay life points, but sometimes it's worth it because you need these cards right back. Now we'll go with the Scourge. The Scarlet Scourge is, if this card is normal or special summon, you could pay 1,000 life points to send one vampire monster in your graveyard. Target one. Then special summon it, but it cannot attack. You can only use this effect of Vampire Scarlet Scourge once per turn. You can only use the Vampire Scourge once per turn. The end of the battle phase. If this card destroyed any monster or monsters by battle, you can special summon them to the graveyard instead. So you attack one, snatch it, and it becomes yours. So yeah, maybe low attacks and all, but they have fun effects. Now we'll go with the Vamp. Okay, yeah, it is a 2,000 attacker and maybe a double tribute, but what I like what the Vamp does. Once per turn, when this card or a vampire monster is normal summoned to your field, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, whose attack is higher than this card's equip. Then, what it does, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, whose attack is higher than this card's, equip it to this card. This card gains attack equal to the combined original attack of this monster. Now that's the effect. Now, if this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped, special summon this card. So pretty much lower, snatch it, becomes yours. Destroyed, right back. Now we'll go with the Duke. The Duke has two effects, and that's what's fun about him. When this card is normal summon, you can target one dark vampire monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. That target in face-up defense position. When this card is special summoned, you can target one card of a type of a monster spell or trap card. I'll read. So yeah, special summon that defense position if it is normal summoned. Now, when this card is special summoned, you can declare one card of a monster, trap, or spell. Your opponent sends one of that type from the deck to the graveyard. It can only be done once per turn. So think of it that way. If it's normal, special summon one. If it was special summon, declare one, and your opponent must throw away one. Sometimes that might be a little minus because it might be a card they really need, but be wise about what you're going to do. So most likely, you do not really want to call a monster. Most likely, you want to call a spell trap because that's what they're going to have to do. And then my last vampire is the Vampire Void. So, Void, I will read. If this card is normal summon, you can target up to two monsters in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon those monsters from your field in defense position, but its effects are negated. When a monster's effect is activated while a monster or monsters with the same name in the graveyard's quick effect, You can negate the activation. If this monster or monsters is special summon from your opponent's graveyard, you can tribute 2 monsters, special summon this turn from your graveyard. It can only be done once per turn. So think of it that way. Just normal summon by a double tribute, take control of 2. Because that's what the vampires do. They suck up. So it's like sucking out blood. You're sucking out their monsters. Now for the little engine of a zombie, we're just going to go with the 2 zombie master, the 3 Mizukis, and then just a plague spreader. That's the only tuner I'm using, plague spreader. So of course, yeah, we all know zombie master. If you do not know zombie master, then once per turn you can send 1 monster card to the graveyard. Special summon 1 level 4 or lower zombie monster in either graveyard. Special summon them to the field. And that's what it does. Zombie master. You can go into zombie master, ditch out zombie master, special summon your other zombie master, and do the effect once again. So that's summoning out most likely 3 monsters you can bring out, or just 2 instantly. But you must have a material of a zombie in your graveyard. Mizuki you're going to need, because you can banish this card from your graveyard, then special summon 1 zombie monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. Now here's the thing, Mizuki, it did not say by what the level is. Just special summon 1. So that's special summoning out either of the vampires if you wish to, even the Void if you want to. But remember, Void is only that effect of bringing out 2 is only when it's normal summon. But if you need to bring out a good 20 beat sticker, get your Void. As for Plague Spreader, of course, everyone knows it's a tuner. Particularly everyone knows the effect of it, but if you don't, well then I'll explain. You can return 1 card from your hand from the top of the deck. You can special summon this card from your graveyard. If you do, Plague Spreader will be banished. You do not really have to do it for a synchro, or if you're going to play to do an X-Seed. You can just have them out for a good... Of course, yeah, just sacrifice them to have another target on the field to do your double tributes if you need to, or your 1 tribute. As for the magic cards now, okay, we got Vampire Kingdom and Zombie World. The field spells. So, zombie type monsters gain 500 attack during battle, only during battle. Pretty much calculation. Once per turn, when a card or cards is sent from your opponent's graveyard, target 1 card on the field, send 1 dark vampire monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, destroy that target. So most likely this is for the vampires. But zombie type monsters gain 500 attack. As long as this is on the field, you have other zombies, like a regular zombie master, you attack, it'll gain 500 because they're zombies. But they won't get the effect of bringing out a dark vampire because the regular zombies are not vampires. And then Zombie World works great for any zombie deck because all players on the field and in the graveyard become zombie monsters, and neither player can tribute except zombie monsters. Your vampires are zombies, so for the higher attack ones, you're the only one that could possibly tribute because they are zombies. Your opponent does not have zombies they're possibly going to tribute. So you're thinking of tributing to play a Jinzo. No, that won't work because Jinzo's a machine. And if you have Zombie World out, I'm sorry, but they cannot tribute to bring that out. If you're thinking of you're going to tribute to do a Dark Magician is a double tribute, but that won't work if you have Zombie World out because Dark Magician is a spellcaster, not a zombie. If you're thinking of the original Monarchs, they won't work either. The only one that would possibly work is Erebus because that's a zombie. Any others, that won't work either. You're thinking of Blue Eyes, double tribute to play a Blue Eyes, that won't work because Blue Eyes is a dragon. It's only a double tribute, so it's only tributing. But if you have every way of special summoning, well then yeah, then you can do that. Then we'll go with Vampire's Desire. You can only play one of these effects. Target one face-up monster you control and send one vampire monster from your deck to the graveyard with different level from that monster. And if you do, the targeted monster becomes the level of that sent monster. Now I will read the other effect. The targeted monster becomes the level of that sent in the graveyard until the end of this turn. Target one vampire monster in your graveyard, send one monster you control to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon that targeted monster. It can only be done once per turn. So you cannot play both on the same time. You can only play one. So not that bad, if you have your Void in the graveyard, you have a regular... If you have a regular vampire on the field, you can just reverse it and bring out your vampire. Or just, if you want to special summon just to play the Retainer's effect or the Familiar's effect to get a monster or spell trap card of a vampire, you can do that as well. Now you are playing Darks, so go with the Lure of Darkness. Draw 2 cards. One has to be thrown away, banished away, or all cards get thrown to the graveyard. But most likely everything is Darks. The only one that isn't a Dark is Mizuki. I don't know why they kept Mizuki as an Earth type monster. Come on, Mizuki's a zombie. Why the heck would you put that as an Earth? Okay, then Terraform, because you're going to need that because that's the search for your field spell. Foolish Burial, you are going to want to run it because you want to throw in Mizuki in the graveyard, which is your target already to bring them back. Or sometimes you might have your play already if you need your Familiar or the Retainer in the graveyard and you're going to special summon that. You can do that as well. Or sometimes you might be lucky and throw away the Void. Do that as well. And if you have Mizuki already and then Foolish Burial, put the Void in the graveyard, remove the Mizuki, special summon the Void. And then just Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster. Destroy all monsters, destroy all spell and trap cards. No Dark Hole. Reason is because you're destroying your own monsters as well. You don't want to destroy your own monsters. You just want to destroy your opponents. For trap cards, of course, Metaverse. It is pretty much the trap card to search for your field spell. And you can play it instantly if you want. So that's almost like you play Metaverse. You could play already your Zombie World. Okay, now your opponent's stuck because look what the heck just happened. Now for a couple of Vampire Awakening. Special summon one vampire monster from your deck, but must be destroyed at the end of the battle phase, at the end of the turn. Can only be done once per turn. So most likely bring out a vampire and pretty much tribute it if that's what you want to do and just summon out one of your others. And you did send it, but you did not destroy it. You just tributed it. So that's a way of bringing out a vampire if you need it on the field. And it's any vampire. So even if you want to bring out your 20 beat sticker, you can do that as well. Vampire Domination. Vampire Domination. When a spell, trap card, or monster effect is affected, negate the activation. And if you do, destroy that card. Now, if it was a monster card, gain the life points equal to the original attack. It can only be done once per turn. So the counter trap, most likely, of course, just like, let's say gladiators, their gladiator war chariot, that's only if you have a gladiator on the field. Pretty much vampire is the same thing, except it stops a magic, trap, or monster effect. Now the +2 about a monster effect is that monster you negated and it would be destroyed. Whatever that attack was of that monster you destroyed, that's how many life points you get of the attack of what that monster was. So think of it as a Black Rose Dragon. if it were to do the effect of blowing up the entire field, but yeah, Vampire Domination activated, you destroy Black Rose Dragon, but then you'll gain the attack because that was an effect of a monster and a monster you destroyed. Black Rose Dragon is 24, so you'll gain 2,400 life points. Just an example. And then just Quaking, Storming. They do not target monsters, but Quaking, of course, yeah, when an opponent declares an attack and they're in attack position, they'll be put face down permanently. And Stormy Mirror Force, whenever your opponent declares an attack and they're in attack mode, all those cards go back. Now, unfortunately, what sucks is that Link monsters do not get put face down, but they can be sent back. Any other between a Fusion, Synchro, or Xseed, they can be put face down as well. I don't play a lot from the extra deck, but if you wish to, I only play a little. But most likely, yeah, if you want to go Black Rose Dragon, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, Dragon Berserker of the 10Y, which are okay. They're pretty good, of course, yeah. And then just Evil Exoton Knight, Castel, Dark Rebellion, XYZ Dragon, and Tornado Dragon. You can do these because, yeah, they're just level 4s you need to do. You do have a way of making a level 7 and a level 8 in here, so yeah, have these out. So yeah, I don't really play a lot of this, but if you want to, you can. There are times, yeah, I would say at least once in every duel you're in, at least once or twice I'll do this. So I'll admit, yeah, I will do one, but I wouldn't say you do it the whole entire time. Now, okay, demonstrations now. I'll show you a bit. Where are you? Okay. Sorcerer. And okay, Harpy's Feather Duster. Pretty much think of the Mizuki and the Void in the graveyard. It's in your graveyard. You have Domination, Sorcerer, Harpy's Feather Duster, and Metaverse in your hand. Most likely all traps set. Sorcerer you can have out. You can Harpy's Feather Duster, whatever they have. If they had anything face down, you have your Sorcerer out. Not a bad idea. Now, Metaverse already. Here's the thing though. If you really want to stop your opponent from playing anything, you really don't want to go with Vampire Kingdom. You would want to go with Zombie World. And you can play it instantly. Here's the other thing. If they were to do anything else, like an effect, because they could special summon and play an effect or a link, you're going to Domination or anything that would be destroying Zombie World, which you do not want to get destroyed, you can do that as well. If you wanted to go into a Vampire's Desire, is what you drew. Activate it. Switch. Switch into your Void. Now that was special summon, so you would not get the effect of getting 2. Or if you had no monsters, but you could throw in Mizuki, special summon the Void. That's another way. Vampire Awakening. You play the retainer. You pay the life points. And that's to get a spell trap card. So yeah, even if you wanted to go for your field spell, you can do that. Or if you don't have domination, but you're going to need domination, because that's most likely your combo, what you want to do. So let's say this. Okay, you didn't have the retainer, but you had Vampire Awakening, Special Summon. Pay the life points because it's still your turn. Get Vampire Domination. Set it. Now, instead of waiting, just tribute it, because you could play your Vampire Shadow. Get the effect of Shadow to summon out one. Now, yeah, what if you bring out your Duke? Well, then, when Duke is special summoned, declare a magic, trap, or monster, and your opponent must throw one of those away from their deck to the graveyard. 2 monsters. Zombie World, Domination. Oh yeah, whatever in the graveyard, you can do it. Zombie Master. Familiar. Okay, 2 Zombie Master. And a Familiar. Okay. You just have Retainer is your only monster in your graveyard. So, bring the camera up so you guys can see. Okay, Retainer is the only card in your graveyard. Yeah, you can see there's a lot, but let's just say, yeah, it's just the only one. You go Zombie Master. You can activate Zombie Master, throw away your Zombie Master, but you special summon a level 4. Special summon your other Zombie Master. Get the effect once again. Ditch out your Familiar. Now you can bring out either one, because you're going to special summon one. So if you want a monster, go your Familiar, and you can special summon it in defense mode if you wish to. Now 0 attack, so hopefully it's not one of those monsters that can pierce through a defense position monster you're possibly just going to lose already. Or whichever. So yeah, you can bring out whatever you wish to. Here's another trick also I do sometimes with the deck. Okay, you're talking about your Void. Think of it this way. Okay, you're going to do all this. You want to get your Void because you want to get a monster. You have Stormy Mirror Force. So let's just say, yeah, anybody would attack and you play Stormy Mirror Force. Now you're going to think, what the hell to do next? If you have Void and you drew into a Vamp. Okay, then. You have Mizuki. Think of it this way. You're going to double tribute because you're going to have to. Vampire Void. Now you get the effect of Void. Of bringing out anything. Now, Zombie Master. Okay, but you really want to do Zombie Master. How about... Okay, so let's say, okay, yeah. Throw away the Vamp. Zombie Master. Banish. Get your vamp. 4 monsters, or if you wish to, yeah. Any of the 3, any of the 4 right here. Whatever you want to do. See how little fun things you can do? I don't know why people don't like to do that. They just like to play the one simple way of just doing whatever the hell they want. They don't like to play these kind of fun ways. But look how much fun little combos you can do. I don't know if people play these kind of ways, because it's just fun combos you can do. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. I don't care if I win or lose. I just like playing those combos in a duel. So yeah, vampire, a little engine with the... So yeah, pretty much this is the deck of what you see. But running a little engine with the zombies is not a bad idea with the regular zombies, because most likely it's a vampire deck. And then if you need to, yeah, you can do a little extra deck also. So you saw right there, that is the vampire deck. So, hope you all enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. I will show you more deck profiles later. More games, because I got a friends. We'll be playing some more games of... Rather Yu-Gi-Oh! We'll be playing, or we got other card games we could possibly check out and play. I will speak to y'all later. Peace.